In this short video, we will be reviewing the BTR-82AT, that's a Russian tactical vehicle about Uranium 9.0. I'm going to be talking about its strength and weaknesses, and also what makes it a really good vehicle and what makes it a really bad vehicle. Because it has some really cool features and also has some advantages over the other similar type of vehicles. But at the same time, it has disadvantages over the other ones because it has the classic Russian weakness. But I'll talk about more about that later. Not to be calling this the BTR-82AT because it's too much of a mouthful word to say, and it's kind of lame. Instead, I'm going to be calling this the Battle Bus. The 9.0 Battle Bus is an upgrade version of the 7.3 BR Battle Bus. So this is a 7.3 Battle Bus. It has a cooler skin. You're not going to get this skin for the upgrade version though. So if you take a look in the X-ray, this is what's the inside of this vehicle. And also, it has a max speed of 87 km and 77 km backward speed. So this is it's going to be like a major difference compared to this one and the 9.0 version of the Battle Bus. Because if we look at X-ray, bang, there is a lot of stuff inside of it. But first things first, let's look at the speed. It's 80 kilometers and 7.8 kilometers. It is fully spaded. And when you fully spade it, you will see you get the added armor. Before you say, oh, you can just remove the added armor. No, it doesn't increase the speed. Also, it has scouting, it has drones, it has thermal vision. It's not first-gen thermal, it's second-gen thermals. So you have a big upgrade. Plus, it comes with a laser rangefinder, so you don't need to aim much anymore if you get this upgrade. It does have the exact same ammo, though. Because if you look at the ammo, it's going to be exactly the same. 82mm penetration for the 30mm cannon. But the big thing is it comes with a tandem missile. It doesn't come with the other missile. Like the other missile just hit something like a heat base. But this missile right here, the tandem version, is designed to go through ERA protection. So if you fight a vehicle that has ERA, like this Magox, you can just go through the armor. Just ignore all of it. And also has a 1200mm penetration. So this is going to be very handy to the strength of this vehicle because you have ability to head-on-head tank and beat them. It's like the major weakness of the lower BR or this type of vehicle with just a 30mm cannon, you cannot beat most vehicles at head-on-head because they have too much armor. Even leopards, even common leopards that you'll fight. When I talk about leopard, I don't mean the leopard 2s and all that stuff. I'm talking about just the first leopard, the first generation of leopards. You can't penetrate them. You can't penetrate them in the front. But having this tandem missile, you have the ability to take them out. Also, you have the ability to take out their tracks and everything else in the front of them with this cannon. I'm sure you guys noticed that the ATGM is at the very top of the BTR. But what if I told you you can have direct control over it instead of your machine gun sight? This is your machine gun sight. This is like the normal gun sight. But if you have a key binding at the very top called Select Special Weapons, bang. So your sight is at the very top of the vehicle. This gives you a unique function in the game where you can go behind certain cover like a giant wall or a ditch or anything, or even a giant rock, where you just show your upward ATGM. They will not be able to see this. This is actually very, very hard to see, especially at long distances. And it gives you a unique advantage over the enemy team. But there is like a downside, that is that the ATGM at close range, it drops like a rock. Because the moment you fire your ATGM, you actually need to aim higher than where you aiming your target. Because the first shot you do, like the first 1 or 2 seconds, it will just fall down. That's like a thing about this ATGM. So pro tip is always aim upwards first before firing. Because I have made a lot of mistakes doing this and cost me a lot of free kills. And another thing about this ATGM launcher at the very top, that is that it actually has a bug right now, because if I go to my view and press my thermals, and then I go to my my second gun sight, my special weapon, it also gets the second gen thermals. So that's also another thing you need to take note about this. But this is like a common bug that's in War Thunder for certain vehicles, where it has a secondary weapon that's not supposed to have like second gen thermals. But they probably will fix this in the future. But for now, you can kind of use it, just long as you have activate your thermals. Then you go to your secondary sight, the special weapon ATGM launcher, you can have this ability. Now let's look at the survivability of the Battle Bus. The Battle Bus doesn't have much survivability because you can't add the extra armor, and in my opinion, it does help you a little bit because If you look over here, 6 millimeters, 6 millimeters, might say, oh, that's not much. But at the same time, just think about it. If you ever fight something like a 50 cal American vehicle that's just shoving 50 cals at you, this will save your vehicle's life for sure. At the same time, this armor volume, it does have a habit of eating heat shells. Because if you get hit by a heat shell, wait, is it a heat shell? Yep, this is a heat shell. Okay. If you get hit by a heat shell, you do survive, long as it's a side shot like this. If it's angled, you will survive. But if it's a direct shot, you will not. Because it cannot prevent all of this penetration hitting you. But majority time, if you get hit like this, you will survive, long as it hits you here. If you have this added armor, at the same time, it will prevent a majority of damage by spreading to your vehicle. Long as you don't get hit here or here, you're fine. So that's what helps with the added armor. At the same time, inside of the vehicle, you have spall liners. So if you don't know what spall liners are for, spall liners are simply when something penetrates you, it lowers the shrapnel spread of the shell. Not much, but it's still another defense that you have on your vehicle. And combine that with the added outside armor, you do have some protections against heat shells over maybe not dart rounds, because dart rounds will just go through. But not the outside armor, of course, but the inside armor, at least this will like lower a little bit of the shrapnel that's spreading on your vehicle. And the other thing is you have smoke shells at the top. You have plenty of smoke shells you can use to get away from enemies. And to be honest, you do have good speeds, not backward speed, but forward speed. But there is a little bit of issue, because when I was playing this vehicle, I have noticed that I really have a hard time turning. Because if you ever in a small alley, or you get hit, or you hit a building in front of you, it's gonna take a while to go backwards, because the mobility that's at the back of this vehicle, like 10 km backward speed, is kind of bad. At the same time, the way this vehicle is designed, like the wheels, they don't turn that well. They don't turn properly going left and right. So you're gonna have to slowly move forward, slowly move backwards, slowly move forward. That's what's gonna be the feeling of it. So what I recommend doing, do not go in small alleys. You don't want to go in a small alley unless you know you can get away from the enemy. The other stuff that the Battle Bus has, a feature that might be useful, might not be useful, it has the ability to swim. You can go across rivers or go in the sea and you can float. That's a little thing that I find interesting. But there's not going to be many maps you can use this feature. But at least, if you make a mistake or you're running from somebody and you jump in a river, you'll be safe there. But I've noticed that maybe one day you can actually use the river to fire your ATGM. Because I was trying to figure out if there's any map where the riverbank, I can just go inside of them and then just show my ATGM. Because the ATGM is at the very top, right? I might be able to use this. But I didn't get much opportunity to practice that theory yet. Now, the final thing is just going to mention some downside or weakness of this vehicle that you're going to be experiencing if you ever decide to grind this out. The first weakness is that the gun itself is right in the middle of the vehicle. And this is like a big issue. It doesn't have a good depression already. It doesn't have a good gun depression. So if you ever go behind a hill or a certain terrain where you can't aim your gun downwards much, you're going to have a big problem. You actually have to reveal your whole vehicle to even fire your gun on top of a hill. But at the same time, if you remember what I mentioned before, this vehicle doesn't have good backward speed, and it's huge. It's absolutely huge. It's the size of a bus. That makes it harder to aim on top of the hills. The other thing is that this vehicle itself, if you look at the back, this little steel thing here, this little steel thing prevents the gun from aiming downward more. So you have more Russian depression at the back side, making it more problem. So if anybody's go behind you, you won't be able to fight back. That's another weakness. But you can kind of overcome this with the ATGM at the top. Because the ATGM at the top, if you go on top of a hill, you don't actually need to reveal your vehicle. You have to move a little bit to the side and just reveal on the top ATGM, and you can aim at the targets. That's what I did to try to use this as an ambush tank. The other thing is the shape of the tank. Just like I mentioned before, it's a bus. It's a bus. It has the mobility of the bus. So meaning if you have curved roads, it's gonna be really hard for you to move, especially very tight roads. So you need to think about those things before you're moving to, because one mistake, if you get hit, like hit the building with your very bad backward speed, it's gonna take a while to go back. So yeah, that's another weakness of this vehicle. At the same time, the armor itself is bad because the armor can kind of protect you, at the same time not. Because if you're in a certain type of angle, 50 cals will just go through you like without any problems. So you have to be careful with those things. The very first round is gonna be this. Not gonna be the APDS round. It's gonna be the default one. The default round comes with APT at the same time half round, meaning a couple of rounds are completely useless against vehicles. And on top of that, you're gonna have to do more side shots to even take out targets. So what I recommend doing is using your ATGM, but you only have 4 of those ATGMs. So just remember, you only have 4 of them. And they are kind of a pain to get used to because the muzzle velocity of them is just 320 miles per second. That's kind of a little bit of a weakness on this thing. So what I recommend doing is use your mobility that you have and find a good spot and just wait for targets to shoot. That's what I would do. Other than that, it's quite a good vehicle to play, and I actually had a lot of fun playing it. Because I do like those type of vehicles where it combines an ATGM launcher and a machine gun, like a 30mm machine gun. I just wish it had more dart rounds, like different type of ammo. So yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you drop a like and a comment, because it will help my channel a lot. And have a great day.